In this chair yoga video, we'll be working on strengthening the legs. Usually in yoga poses, we start in standing yoga poses, and so that strengthens the legs. But when we're in a chair, it's a little bit more complicated. Let's begin seated on a chair. Make sure it's not an upholstered chair, some nice firm surface. Seated in a chair, draw your pelvis back to the very back of the chair. And since the pelvis is the foundation for this pose, see if you can get the area of the foundation a little bit more active. So lift your right hip up, draw your right knee forward and drop your right hip down. Lift the left side of the hip up and drop it down. Lift your right sit bone, drop it down. So you're walking on the chair seat in order to get the hip area more active. Now walk back. So take your right hip back, lift up your left and draw it back. Keep that action until you're at the back of the chair seat and come forward again. And as you do this, you'll just become a little bit more fluid in your movements, and you'll create more flexibility. You walk forward and walk back on your sits bones. Now come to the forward part of your chair seat. On the forward part of the chair seat, look down and spread your toes. If you can't get a spread to them, maybe you can weave your fingers through the toes to really liven up your feet. Step your feet slightly wider apart than hip distance. Place your hands right above your knees as if you're going to lift off the chair. Bow forward, engage the legs, pull the legs in toward each other, and get a little bit lighter on your pelvis. Now lift yourself up. Step your feet back to hip distance apart. Lift your toes up, spread the toes. Take your spread toes down and lift your heels up. Draw your heels down, spread your toes, lift your toes up, draw the toes down, heels up. Same thing. Heels down, spread the toes, lift the toes up, draw them back down, lift your heels up, and pause. Step your feet wide again. Bow forward again. See if you can put more weight on your feet and almost like you're about to lift up off your chair. Maybe you can just get just an inch or two elevation as you lift up. If the hands on the knees don't work, maybe more weight forward, hands forward, may help you out. Take your pelvis down. Draw your feet back to hip distance apart. Draw your right knee in and step your right foot down. Draw your left knee in, so a lot of hip flexion here, and take it down. Draw your right knee up. Now draw your right knee over. Make a circle with the right knee, just through the power of the leg, and step your right foot down. Now do a circle in the opposite direction. Lift your right leg up and circle in the opposite direction. Maybe a really big circle too on this cycle. Release your right foot down. Draw your left knee in, spread your toes so the full leg is very active, and step it down. Do that again. Lift it up. Maybe you can come up farther. Now take a circle with the left leg. Keep your right foot down. Release your left foot. Now we'll do a circle in the opposite direction. So lift up the left knee, make a circle. Keep your foot active by spreading your toes and release your foot down. Very nice. Place your hands right above your knees. Draw your heart forward and draw the spine back, just to bring your awareness from your legs now to movement of the spine. Draw your heart forward, lift your chin. Exhale, draw from the navel back as if you're trying to have the navel kiss your back. Inhale, open your chest. Exhale and draw back. Now hook your hands underneath your right thigh. Let the hands just carry the leg to a deeper form of hip flexion than you've been in. Keeping that, free your hands. Just keep your right foot lifted. Take your hands back to the leg and softly place it down. Do that with the left side. So interlace your fingers, carry the left leg up, spread your toes to get the nice engagement of the left leg. Reach your arms out, just spread your wings. See if you can keep the spine nice and straight after all that movement we just did. Release your hands to the back of the thigh and release down. Now that you've done a lot of hip flexion, let's continue that movement and engage the upper thigh muscles nicely. So stay right at the front part of the chair. Interlace your fingers again behind the back of the thigh. Reach your right foot forward. Now can you reach it forward even more and free your hands? Bend your knee and on its own power, release down. Same thing, left side. Interlace your fingers behind your leg. Reach it, spread the toes. Now free your hands, just open up nicely. Now bend the knee and release down. If by any chance you get some cramping, just breathe deeply, set your foot down so that the contraction of the leg muscle will ease. Staying at the front part of your chair, hold on to the back part of your chair and draw back, lifting your feet up. Take your knees wide apart, draw them together. Now lift the feet up slightly, take your knees wide apart, spread your toes and draw them together. Lift up even higher, take the knees wide apart and draw them together and take them down. Straighten your right leg. And with the right leg straight, take your left ankle just somewhere to the outside of the shin or maybe the outside of the upper thigh. And as you do, can you draw in from the straight right leg toward the pelvis, holding onto the chair, just draw forward slightly. We're not rounding the spine, we're just keeping the legs very active in this pose. And rise up. Reach your left leg forward, bend your right knee, place the foot either below or above the knee, not at the knee. Let the right knee just draw down toward the earth, holding onto the chair. Just draw forward and keep the spine nice and elongated. Now inhale and rise up to come out of the pose. Release. Once again, lift up your legs. See if you can reach them out. Legs don't have to be straight. Draw them in and reach out and draw them in and release down. Place your hands right on top of the thigh. Step your pelvis back and close your eyes. You engage your legs nicely in the short chair yoga practice. Now's the time to just release. Take your attention to your breath. Just discover what new sensations you have with the legs. Activating the legs just for a few minutes creates this new awareness. Stay attuned to your breath. Thank you for practicing with me. Namaste.